Hi guys, so today is Sunday and I decided that I'm going to start a new trend on my channel. So on Sundays I'm going to try and upload more talk, spiritual, self-help types of videos. That makes sense. I have a ton of these already, but I wanted to keep this going, and it's been a while since I've touched on anything Jesus related. So if you guys know me, you know that I'm a Christian. I'm not someone who pushes my beliefs on people, but I just like to talk about my experiences and things that I'm going through, just in case someone is going through it as well and can relate. Today I'm going to talk to you guys just about like staying in faith and not jumping ahead of God. I've recently just gone through something which is really funny. It was just like a lesson learned, and I had to share this with you guys because it's something that I just have been sitting on, and I've been thinking about it for like a week or two, and I realized that I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. And I want to talk about like the whole moving thing. So I'm sure you guys have noticed that my background's different. I'm not in my old apartment. I'm back home. And that is just because I did not wait. I was in such a rush to get out and like have my own place and buy a house and do all these things, and I've never really gone into detail on this whole house situation. And I know you guys are probably like, what happened? Because you were buying a house, it was being built and all these things. And you know, I really wanted that, and I thought that I was doing the right thing because I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this house and I'm gonna, you know, start my life and all these things. And I didn't pray about it. I didn't talk to God about it. It was just something that, well, I always talk to God, but this is something that I wasn't like relying on God for. It's something that I just wanted to do, and I was in such a rush inside to get out and do it, and I ended up right back home. But I wanted to talk about it because it's real and it's the truth. And this situation that I'm in now is 20 times better than the situation I would have been in if I would have bought a home. So this is why I want to stress like waiting on God. So obviously in the past year and a half, so much has changed. So originally I was trying to buy a house, and I just had so many complications with it, like getting a mortgage, and I got one, but then I wanted out of the contract because it just didn't feel right. The situation wasn't right. Like the builders, like everything was fine. I mean, the people I was working with to buy my home and all of that was fine. But it was just like, I was rushing the process. One, I don't have children and I'm not married. So me buying a house by myself is not really a necessity right now, which is something that I wanted. And then you get caught up in the idea of what you think your life is supposed to be like. I'm 30 years old, so in my mind for years I've always been like, by 30 I'll be married with kids, have a house, and all these things. Like I had a list, and they said we make plans and God laughs, right? Well, he laughed at me because I had plans on what my life was supposed to be like. And then it doesn't help when you go on social media and you see all of these other bloggers and people buying homes and doing all this stuff, and you're just like, why did this work out for me? And it was just so funny because I tend sometimes, and I'm human, I do it too, as much as a Jesus follower as I am, I tend to get caught up in the hype of what I see on the internet. I do it, just like everyone else. And I'm learning to go at my own pace, to just trust in God and follow his path and not somebody else's. And I think it's easy to get caught up in what you're seeing on the internet and compare your life to someone else's. And I've never really been a person to do that. I've always been a person who's a strong follower of God and always been a leader. I've never been a follower of like people. But for some reason, lately, I've just been getting caught up. And I think it was just because I had this idea of what I was supposed to do by 30. I put a mark on my life, and you can't do that. One, life never goes the way we plan exactly. It's okay to set goals and to set limits and to kind of push yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, and all of that is fine. But I just feel like when you talk to God about your dreams and goals, he will let you know like what he doesn't approve of or what he does. And sometimes God even lets you do it so you can learn, like me. It happens. So for me, I just wanted to just touch on that because for me, what happened was I ended up not getting the house. So then I was like, all right, well, if I'm not going to buy the house, I'm just going to get an apartment. because I had to move out and I had to do my own thing, and it's just so crazy how much has changed. I ended up back home. Now I'm living here and I'm pretty much have everything I wanted. I think my biggest thing was just I wanted to have more rooms. I needed a beauty room. I needed a filming room. I needed all these things. And I was like, I don't have this here because I was living at home with my grandma. And I was just like, I don't have any space. Like, I don't have any freedom. And which is crazy because things have changed so much. I ended up moving out of my apartment and now I'm in a situation where it's cheaper for me to live. I have my beauty room, I have my filming, I have everything I need in this house, and it's the house that I grew up in. And unfortunately, my grandma is now in assisted living because she fell ill, which I'm not celebrating. That part's really, really sad. I love her to death. But what I'm saying is everything that I wanted was right here the whole time. I was just trying to rush myself and getting out and getting out on my own and doing all these things and having stuff, and it was always home. It was always at home. And that was just like a lesson I needed to learn. I never had to move out because of how things played out. Unfortunately, they didn't, you know, things aren't the greatest situation, but my grandma's really happy where she is. But the house ended up, I ended up being able to do what I want with the house anyway. Like, I ended up having my beauty room, redoing everything, which I'm going to show you guys how I transformed this old room when I was a little girl into this beauty room that it is now. I have all of that footage. I'm going to edit it and get it together for you guys. But I just wanted to touch on that because I ended up getting this house, and it's the house I grew up in. Everything worked out, and I was so worried about just having my own place and doing all these things. I moved out and spent, what, $13,000, $14,000 on rent, maybe more than that. Yeah, maybe like almost 20 grand on rent, when I could have been home this whole year and a half saving money and living here, which is so crazy to even think about. But it was a lesson learned. It was stress I didn't need to go through. It was a lesson learned, and it's something that I wanted to touch on. I didn't want to get too personal and tell too much of my family's personal business, but I did want to talk about waiting on God and just trusting Him in certain situations. I rushed it. I didn't wait. I wanted a place, and He ended up bringing me right back home, and literally with everything I ever wanted in the same house that I grew up in. Crazy, right? No, it's not crazy. It's God. That's how He works. You have to trust Him. I had to learn that, and I do trust God, but one of my things is when I want something, I want it right away. And I tend to run and rush and do it and not be patient. And I just feel like God taught me patience, but He brought me back here to show me that if I just wait on Him, He will give me the desires of my heart. And of course, these are just materialistic things, a house, a beauty room. These things aren't important. But the point of this story is I could have just stayed home and I would have had all of this anyway. But for me, I was just like, oh, I'm cooped up in this room and I need more space and I need a film and blah, 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 blah. And life is never what it looks like on YouTube to you guys. I don't know how it was portrayed on my videos, but for me, I really needed more space because I was, you know, when you're a beauty guru, you get sent products and stuff, and I needed like somewhere to put all this stuff because I didn't have anywhere to do it. And I basically just ended up right back home, which is crazy. But I'm in the process of just fixing stuff and remodeling things the way that I want them to look. So over time, I will post those videos for you guys. But I just wanted to just touch on waiting on God, you know, like it's so important to just pray about things and listen for His voice. And you can hear His voice, you guys. He does talk to us, especially if you have a relationship with Him. And for me, I kind of knew I was jumping the gun, but I wanted it so badly that I kind of tried to push God to let me have it. And He ended up closing those doors anyway. He ended up bringing me back home, and I don't even really have to worry about the stuff that I was worried about when I was on my own. So, you know, it's just amazing how He comes through for us. And then on top of it, I have a boyfriend now, and I mean, eventually, I don't know, but if we get married, who knows what goes on from there. So it's just interesting how things play out, and I really wanted to talk about these things because these are things that I was worried about for so long, and I ended up having them, and I'm right back home in a comfortable space where I don't have to stress out about money, bills, rent, or any of that. Of course I have bills here to pay, but the point is it's home, and I'm comfortable. It's not an unfamiliar place, and I was out there trying to buy a house, and I had one right here the whole time. So just something I wanted to touch on with you guys. I hope this helped you a little bit if you are like wondering about jumping the gun or doing something and you're not really sure. I had to learn my lesson the hard way, and I wanted to share this with people because I want people to be able to look at my situation and know that if you just trust in Him, you will get what you need. Not what you want all the times, but what you need. This is what I needed, and it took me a year to figure that out, but I'm really happy that I did. I'm really happy, and it doesn't matter. My life belongs to God, so He controls these things, and when you really trust in Him, you see the difference in your life. And my life has changed so much since I've given my life to God. And I encourage people, if you don't know Him, just talk to Him and He will reveal Himself to you. I promise you. It took me a long time to get to where I'm at spiritually, faith-wise. I wasn't always this such strong-willed faith person. I wasn't always like this, so don't think that I woke up like you know, a Jesus freak. It wasn't like that at all. It took me years to become who I am and to get on this level of faith, but I had great examples in my life, and I've seen God move in my life and in other people's lives, and that is why I don't question it. That's why I've never questioned anyone else. In the beginning, I used to question a lot. I believed, but I was always like skeptical because I never really saw anything happening. And a lot of people need that. A lot of people need that tangible evidence. A lot of people need God to just do something for them to think, okay, He's real now. And for me, that's what I needed, and that's what He did for me in other situations. If you want to know those stories, I will link them down below. I have tons of stories on YouTube about how God has moved in my life and what He's done and how He's revealed Himself. But, you know, for me, it just took a while to get here. But I'm here now, and I'm happy, and I'm just taking it one day at a time. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about it because I think it's something that you might need to hear, or someone might need to hear. God put this on my heart, and I've been thinking about it for weeks. And I was like, on a Sunday, I'm going to upload this video because I think people might need to hear this story. So I just want to say thank you. God bless you guys. Love you. If you have any questions, leave them down below, or share your story down below if you rushed on something and God pretty much like kind of chastise you for it and let you know that He's got it and He's in control. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.